لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Last night we began our discussion in the gems of our brothers and sisters, and we began with the discussion on the advice of Umar ibn Khattab, which led us into a discussion on the issue of Qadr, belief in the divine decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the importance of believing in the divine decree of Allah azza wa jalla, and touched on the importance of us learning the belief of the Muslim, how important it is for everyone to know and to believe certain aspects of Islam. And the reason why, or one of the reasons why it's extremely important to have firm belief, especially in the areas of Qadr, is because our Aqidah, what we believe, is directly connected to our acts of worship. A person cannot worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly if he does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly. If he does not believe properly in the Day of Judgment, believe in what happens in the grave, what will happen when people are raised up, what will happen on the day of Qiyamah, Dukhul al-Jannah, entering into Jannah, entering into the fire, what happens to the disbelievers, what happens to the believers who are sinners, what happens. A person cannot truly worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly. How does a person truly beg Allah for His forgiveness if he doesn't believe properly what happens to the sinners in the grave, or what happens to the sinners on the Day of Judgment? If a person truly believed and understood what the Prophet ﷺ talked about, for example, in the ahadith in Sahih Muslim about the hawd, about the pond of the Prophet ﷺ, and how the believers will drink from it, and those who have innovated in Islam will be taken away from it, won't be allowed to drink from the hawd of the Prophet ﷺ. Then a person would strive to never innovate ever. Why? Because of his belief. And so there's a direct connection between the belief of the individual and his act of worship. Because if a person does not truly believe, then he can never truly submit. And if he does not truly submit, then he cannot truly worship. And so it's important for us to take out time to have the discussions with our families, our wives, our children, about the Muslims and the belief, what we believe about the angels, what we believe about prophets and messengers, the books that Allah Ta'ala has revealed, what we believe about the Day of Judgment, and then especially about Al-Qadr, the divine decree. Because all of these things, and many more things, these aspects of belief have a direct connection to how we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we want to be true worshipers, dedicated worshipers, sincere worshipers, then we have to know what it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed as relates to all of these areas of belief. So I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us from the true believers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us in learning and understanding our aqeedah aqidah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst those who are true worshippers.
Ameen.